Lights, camera, intro music podcast. Welcome into the Casual Chaos Life podcast. I'm your host, Jay Ash, joined as always by Jeff and Bubba. What's up, fellas?
Not much, Jay. How you doing? Hey, Bubba. What's up, buddy?
How you doing? Doing great.
7:46 on a Wednesday. It's pod time, so I'm doing well. Getting ready to jam it out, recap the Masters, talk a little hoops, baseball, whatever you guys have in mind that correlates back to the gambling world. You guys been doing anything fun this week early on? Anything to talk about? Anything to share?
Not me. Bubba, how about you?
No, nothing crazy. I know we got some playoff basketball starting, some hockey, some playoff hockey around the corner, and what a Masters, huh? So I know we got a lot to talk about tonight.
Yeah, right, I mean, technically the hoop started yesterday, and it was two good games.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, technically, yes, but as we've heard on an earlier pod today, does it count? Is it a playoff game? Is it a regular season game? Or is it just out there? Do those stats
Nobody knows.
Right. Do those stats get you paid?
Yeah,
no one knows. Yeah. No one knows.
Nobody knows. Yeah.
Nobody knows.
We'll recap that, but since we're not going to get into days of our lives, any stories, we're just going to be the gambling pod, not the fun family pod. Let's jump right into talking tickets. Producer Tyler, take it away.
Yes, sir. And before we talk tickets, let's talk about last rep. Look, we all know the grind isn't just a buzzword. Whether you're hitting the gym or sweating a parlay until the West Coast games wrap up, your body takes the hit. That's why we've partnered with Last Rep, the world's first athletic recovery cocktail. It's a crisp, refreshing, hemp-derived THC athletic recovery beverage designed specifically to help you dial it back, recover, and get ready for the next round. No hangover, no bloat, just the perfect way to settle in while we go over today's action. Whether you're crushing workouts, crushing parlays, or just crushing life, Last Rep's got your back. Recovery shouldn't be complicated. It should be convenient, effective, and taste damn good. This new and exciting seltzer is now available at select locations across Tampa Bay. However, here's the best part. As a Casual Chaos listener, you can grab yours with 20% off using promo code CHAOS at trylastrep.com. That's code CHAOS for 20% off at trylastrep.com. And like I mentioned last week, not only do they have a delicious lime, they have a new flavor of orange. So get out there, try Last Rep Orange. Can you get the orange online already?
Yes, you can.
What a country we live in. What
it's
a country.
Available.
Try Last Rep. Use Chaos, guys. Again, thanks to Last Rep for sponsoring Talking Tickets, and we can get right into some tickets and some sadness because I don't think a lot of us had the right way this weekend. A lot of Masters bets here. This was one of my own. I had Jacob Bridgman, Justin Rose, Sepp Straka, and Ludwig Oberg in round one to all win their individual 3-ball matchups. I think I went 2 for 2. So as we know, like in bragging rights, that pays you nothing. A couple guys played well there. A couple guys didn't play well at all. So only $2 bet, so you can't really be that mad about it. Got $1 ant here. $1 ant shot for the moon with a couple of these. Hideki, past Masters champion, top 5. Fortunately, didn't get there. Ludwig Oberg, top 5, didn't quite get there. Tommy Fleetwood didn't quite get there. Bryson DeChambeau, did he even play this past weekend? No, he did not, is the answer to that. On the positive side, yes, all those are losses up there. But he did have Rory McIlroy to win. I think we were actually joking about it. It's like he's the only one that actually took Rory to win the darn thing. So good on $1 there. He actually, down below this ticket, actually also had Cam Young to win. So he probably slept Saturday night thinking, oh, wow, I got a really good chance. He's probably pulling for Cam Young.
Cam, yeah.
Yeah, because his odds were much worse than Rory. So either way, I think he probably came out on top for the weekend. I mean, if you look at his bets there, he's got 455. He probably at least netted even, hopefully for him. But if not, at least he got some of those losses back with a Rory W. So good job, $1 ant calling it right.
There we go, $1.
Yeah, another one of mine. Again, sad story of this looked great with like 6 holes to go, and then it just all kind of fell apart. Had top 20s of Rory, Lowry, Reed, Rose, and Oberg. At one point, I think these guys were all in the top 13, like on the back 9, and 2 of the guys that ended up finishing outside the top 20. So again, another one you just take on the chin. But again,
I think it was by one shot though, right? I think they missed by one shot, right?
I think Lowry ended up being a little bit more. He kind of just completely fell apart on Sunday. But when we were talking about it originally, Jeff, yeah, Oberg literally had a 6-foot birdie putt on 18, and on our heads, I was thinking, okay, he makes that, he's in. And luckily that didn't happen, because then I would have been really my sights would have been set on Shane Lowry for playing like an asshole on Sunday.
Yeah.
But is what it is. Wasn't meant to be. What was meant to be is our very own Jay Ash taking an 8-leg parlay on Sunday of the Masters and just drilling it. Had a couple dudes on here: Gary Woodland, Homa, Fitzpatrick, Scott, Adam Scott. He had a bunch of other guys, obviously 4 other guys on there. $10 bet paid out just under $11.50. So Jay, talk to me. Is this just shooting blind here and just pays off?
I'd love to say it was all skill, but I'll give it 50-50 skill and luck. I did throw a couple darts, but the matchups made sense. We took Woodland over Kitayama, who was playing like horse shit after he made the cut. He had a terrible Saturday, cost me money on Saturday, so that was an automatic go against. Homa, which he's a
plays well at Augusta.
He plays well there, and we like him. You and I like him.
Oh, yeah.
So we had him over Michael Brennan just because I thought he was going to continue Saturday. Fitzpatrick over Nick Taylor. I just thought Fitzpatrick's better than he played on Thursday and Friday. That was my rationale there. Adam Scott over Penge. I just figured he'd been there before. McNeely over Noren was more of a dart throw, even though Noren was down the board. Spieth over Harmon was pretty strategic there. I just thought Jordan came off of a good Saturday. Obviously, the eagle he hit on Sunday is probably what secured that for me. Brooksy over Wyndham Clark, because as you and I were discussing on Saturday, Wyndham Clark had a good round, and then he just turned back into Wyndham Clark. And Brooksy looks like he can compete this year. And then I had Goddard up over Rattan, and that was mainly because I just figured he would end up being the top debutant, and I thought Rattan blew his load on Friday. So
very nice.
Little bit of strategy, a little bit of luck. We'll take them both.
Yeah, the only one that really is kind of the shot is McNeely, maybe, but he seems to play well. I think he's made a couple Masters cuts, and he seems to play relatively well. And Noren's game's kind of been up and down in the last few years, so love it. Awesome hit there. And not only did we have the Masters, but like Jeff alluded to, we are in full playoff mode for the NBA. So this is one we got as well. You got the Lakers to win their matchup against the Rockets. You got the Nuggets to take their matchup against the Timberwolves. And then you got a little bit of an upset with the Hawks beating the Knicks. So parlayed together, $25 will win $583. Don't think it's the craziest thing for any of the. I mean, the Lakers obviously with injuries might be a little bit tough, but I mean that's a solid parlay there that you got brewing.
Who put that in?
This one was our very own Jay Ash. Jay Ash is riding with LeBron, Jokic, and who in the hell plays for the Hawks now?
Oh, it's a good team.
Yeah,
it's
I know they've been playing. They've been playing pretty good lately, but I know they shipped away some guys and got some new guys in and whatnot. So, but we'll be looking forward to it.
And spoiler alert! I have some upsets in round 1.
Yeah, clearly. We'll love it. Again, thanks to Last Rep for sponsoring Talking Tickets. Again, code CHAOS at trylastrep.com. You want to just jump right into the Masters recap really quick. I know we kind of talked briefly there about it, but we can kind of dive into that and then get right into some hoops.
Who won it?
Yes, golf claps. This guy named Rory McIlroy won it, and I don't think we even talked about him on our podcast on Thursday.
Well, this podcast has a penchant for Rory avoidance. But not only in the betting tickets, but just in the conversation period. He didn't play for a couple of weeks, had a back injury. So personally, I'll just speak for myself. I didn't have him on my card at all, and it wasn't because I'm not a Rory supporter or I don't like him. It was really just a statistical move. Only 3 players in the last 18 years have cracked the top 10 after winning. Could have easily said, well, that's not going to happen to Rory. He's overcome his demons. And then obviously only 3 people prior have gone back to back. So at the lower odds, it just didn't seem like the right gambling opportunity. And to take him as a negative number in the top 10, I just wanted to spread my money out in other places. So that was it. But he tried to give it back. That's for sure. He didn't want it for a little bit. And then on 18, he said, "Everybody, hold my beer if you think this is over."
Yeah.
I could still fuck this up with with a drive. So, good for him. This isn't the time or place to skew him. He did everything right. I think he approached it correctly, and he was pretty humble, and obviously deeply moved in the clubhouse. So good for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it was this close, Jay, from Scotty Scheffler's putt going in to being a playoff, and I don't think he wins. I don't think he wins it if he goes to a playoff with Scheffler.
No, I would have turned that whole parlay around on Scheffler if it went to a playoff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. But I woke up in the morning and I actually bet Rory. I saw him at plus 160 in the morning.
Yep.
And I put $200 on him to win 275 to win 440. So I took him on Sunday, but I didn't have him in the beginning either. And I had a bunch of other things, but and I had Lowry too before, and he was close at the end, but then he kind of fell off early Sunday morning. So it's nice. I mean, what are the odds he wins it next? What are the odds he wins it next year? Nobody's ever gone 3 in a row. That'd be fucking nuts.
See, as long as he doesn't get injured and his game doesn't completely go to shit, he's going to be the favorite.
I know.
I mean, him or Scotty, they're going to be right there next to each other.
Yeah, and the guy's talking like it's his home fucking course. I mean, did you hear him say he went and played it and then got home for dinner that night? And he's getting the royal treatment there. They want him to fucking win it 3 times in a row.
Yeah, everyone is making that a way bigger deal than it really is. Like, people, if you're invited to the Masters, you can play before the tournament. Everyone's acting like he's the only one who's allowed to do that.
Right.
It's just
it's a little
silly.
But when you win, you can play whenever you want.
No,
right?
you still gotta play with a member even when you win, unless you're a member of Augusta. So it's not. He didn't really have any kind of like unfair advantage. People are saying he had an unfair advantage, which, if you are saying that he won last year, he earned that advantage by winning the Masters.
No doubt.
You're allowed to win too if that was the case. Like, you're not. It's not like you're not allowed. So that's a weird thing that's come out of this, is that he had like a weird advantage.
Right. He was on the grounds early because he wasn't playing because of his back, and he volunteered for all of those. I mean, he handed out the trophy for I think the ladies amateur, that type of thing. So he was just there, and he played the round with his dad, on Monday. He played a practice round with his dad, and they walked through every shot and all that nostalgia and stuff like that. But I think Tyler brings up a good point. You still have to, have a member either invite you to play or get paired up with a member. But again, it's Rory McIlroy. I'm sure if Rory calls the clubhouse 2 days in advance and says, "I'd like to play," they say, "Sure, Mr. McIlroy, let me get in touch with some of our members and see if anybody's willing to host you." I'm sure it's a pretty big line or a pretty short list of phone calls before it's like, I mean, what member is not going to be like, "Oh, I've got 7 meetings tomorrow, but you know what? Fuck that. Cancel. I'll play with Rory." It's going to happen every time. And to Tyler's point, there's probably 30 golfers on the tour that would get that same treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, but I mean, all in all, I mean, you hear 2 guys talk about it. They've interviewed a couple other guys about it, and they pretty much say, like, the course is not the same 2 weeks before as it is Thursday. Even when you play Monday, because of the ability that Augusta has to change things on the golf course so quickly, it's not even the same golf course when you play Monday and Thursday. So there is an advantage just because you're on the grounds, but like, it's different. But good on him. I was sad. I had Justin Rose pre-tournament, so I thought I had a chance there. I was even thinking I literally had Rory queued up when he went two down when he double bogeyed and then bogeyed. I was staring right at it. I had him like essentially in my cart on the Hard Rock app to put money on him because I was like, he could still win. It's not like he did the same thing last year. He double bogeyed a hole last year and he gave away a 3-shot lead like immediately last year. I think maybe even on the first hole. So, good on him. I'm excited I'm hoping that we just get a Rory Scotty matchup here at the PGA, and it's just them two on Sunday, like a Stenson Mickelson a few years ago at the British Open when they just went bar for bar and shot like 63, 65 on Sunday.
That
and
was
they just awesome.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
And it was in the morning, and it was at like 7 a.m. when we were watching it because it was over there. So it was just incredible golf. So I'm hoping we get that. From a gambling standpoint, you should probably put those two in top 5, top 10 pretty much all year in big tournaments because I think this probably lit a fire under Scotty a little bit to get going. And Rory doesn't seem to be shying away from it at this point.
Yeah,
Heinrich made. I was just say Heinrich made half the world go. Is a 3-wood better than a driver?
Yeah, well, he hit that thing like fucking 305 out there.
That was crazy.
Yeah. Speaking of, I saw a couple things pop across my feed today, and it's really nothing to do with gambling, but it's a shit ton of money. And I heard that what I was reading was that Live might be done. Is that the rumor going around?
That's what the word is around town, that the PIF is no longer going to be funding and people haven't been getting paid and
like this could
things.
be their last tournament is what I'm hearing, like this weekend, I guess. That's fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of people were gambling on that. Well, a lot of golfers took risk, a lot of investors took risk. I mean, that's fucking nuts.
That money had to go away at some point, man.
Yeah, but that's been around for a couple years, right? So the people that did join, I'm sure they've been well compensated by this point. It was worth the risk for them, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, no doubt.
Especially now, who knows if they even get really a big slap on, like some of these guys are playing on the PGA Tour again already. So they didn't, they're getting maybe a little financially dinged by like having to pay some fines and stuff. But if you signed a $100 million contract, take the fucking $500,000 fine. Who gives a shit?
Right.
So like, I think that all those guys pretty much won on all that. So yeah, it's crazy that might happen there, Bubba.
There hasn't been enough data around it, but it'll be interesting to see what both the PGA and the DP World Tour do as far as letting these guys come in, because they technically you don't have your card, and Tyler, you would know this more than I do. You don't just grab your card in August and jump into a tournament, right?
Yeah.
You got to earn your way into it. So a lot of these guys, all of them for that matter, are going to have to go back to Q school, right? They're going to have to qualify.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the DP World Tour, who's been bickering about the world rankings to allow for other majors, like John Rahm's situation, for example. It'll be interesting if they just open the door for everybody. You know what I mean? Can Tyrrell Hatton just slide back into the DP World Tour as he waits to get his card for the PGA Tour? And then is the PGA going to put up some type of stink and beyond financial penalties and force these guys to ease their way back in? It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure some of the players on the PGA Tour are not just going to welcome them back with open arms. That'll be the biggest obstacle, I think.
Yeah, and not the top guys, Jeff. The guy that's 100 on the list of the money, he's going, fuck that. I don't want these guys back. That means there's 30 more really good golfers that are coming my way to take my spot. So yeah, to Jay's point, they're probably like the top 10, 11 guys that are in Live probably have some conditional status still in PGA. Just from like past wins and stuff like that, they'll probably have enough. But yeah, those guys that went straight from like college or didn't really play on the PGA Tour and kind of took the bag over there, those guys are going to have to go straight up like you're just a nobody and go out there and go to Q school and do the show. Now, they might be good enough to make that pretty easy, but they'll get sponsorship exemptions and stuff like that to get some events. But yeah, it'll definitely be interesting.
Yeah, but if you're Joel Damon, if you're Seamus Powers, you know what I mean. You're just like,
yeah,
I'm cool. I'm cool with you guys not coming back.
Yeah, give him a year suspension. I'll ride this fucker out for another year, save some money.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're a couple days behind. So the luster is kind of worn off, so we can jump there. And although the RBC is coming up, we'll talk about that a little bit on some tickets, I would imagine. But it's a fun tournament. Hilton Head special place for me. I enjoy it. So let's jump into NBA. Jeff, you want to captain the ship here?
Well, I mean, still there's not a lot of talk about obviously yet. It's more we're just previewing what we're expecting, right?
Yep.
As far as, I mean, I guess let's just talk about as far as the first round matchups. Let me throw it back to you. I mean, what do you think is the best matchup between the two conferences in the first round?
Which series do I think it's going to be, like a 7-game series, back and forth, that type of thing? Or
Yeah, just both competitive. Yeah.
I think the Nuggets and Timberwolves will be competitive because it always is. Although I do think Denver wins it, probably closer to like a 4-2. I don't know if it goes 7. I think it's going to be the Hawks and Knicks. And as that ticket suggests, I think the Hawks are going to beat the Knicks. I think the Knicks are primed for the what just happened moment, and I think Atlanta with the long bodies and the defense matches up really well against them, or at least they got enough bodies to throw at Brunson. And they're going to be one stupid game away from just slipping out a banana peel. And I think Mike Brown is far less coached than why am I drawing a blank on the Knicks coach from last year, Thibodeau.
Tips.
So you got rid of Tibbs to bring this guy in who's not playoff tested when he's not coaching LeBron. Right. And even when he was coaching LeBron, they didn't really do well in the playoffs. So I just think this is it's a classic year to get Knicks fans all up in arms, to do a complete reset there. Everybody's going to be up in arms about how many picks they gave away for Bridges, time to trade Cat, what's going on with Anunoby. Can you win when Brunson is your centerpiece? I just think it's going to be a lot of noise. And I think Atlanta's been on a fucking tear since January. They check a lot of the boxes. They can score. They play defense. And, I'm not saying Quinn Snyder is a beast of a coach, but I think he's a little bit he might be on the same page as Brown. So I like that series. I have no interest in Cleveland, Toronto. I have no interest in the 1-8, 2-7. We like the Portland, San Antonio series just because of the UConn guys. But other than that, I don't think that's going to be competitive either. So that's where I'm at.
I agree with you. Yeah, you picked the right two series.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I do like Luka coming back with a bionic leg after his treatments in Spain or wherever he went to in Europe, and come back and steal the last 2 games for the Lakers. So I'm just saying that.
Yeah, so let's get to that in a second. I think you picked the correct series. I agree with you about Denver. I mean, Minnesota always does give them trouble, but I do think Denver will pull that out. I guess I disagree with you on the Knicks. I think the Hawks will make that series competitive, but I expect the Knicks to end up pulling that series out. I hope Atlanta wins. I think the Celtics would have a much easier, series with Atlanta than they would New York. But yeah, the Lakers Rockets series is interesting. I don't think the Lakers have a chance if Luka doesn't come back, and I'm not so sure he actually is going to come back. But it's just worth watching what happens there. I mean, what can we expect? I mean, if LeBron really is out there all by himself, can we really expect him to carry them in a 7-game series against a team like Houston? I just can't see it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, the only reason why I put that action in, and the only reason why I'm saying it, is because I think if Luka does come back, even for 2 games, he's got the ability to flip it. And I think Houston, in their current state, it's not a matter of can LeBron shoulder a team and beat Houston. Is Houston going to give them a game or maybe even 2 before Luka comes back? If they give him 1 and Luka comes back and he's gimpy, then it's going to be a 6-game series. But if they fuck up and give them 2 games or let them hang around and Luka comes back and he's 80%, they could definitely steal that. Luka's a force of nature. People have their ups and downs with him during the regular season, and I don't think he's at a villain level, but you're either into Luka or you're not. I've seen him play enough in person where I'm just fucking mesmerized by the guy. It looks like the ball's velcroed to his hand and he can do whatever he wants. Like, it looks like he could play the game blindfolded, literally. I just think people forget when he's in the playoffs, he's a one-man wrecking machine. So we'll see what happens.
No, I agree. It's an intriguing series. There's no doubt about it. So
those Euro treatments work wonders.
well, we're going to find out. I mean, JJ didn't sound all that optimistic talking about him yesterday. So we'll see what happens. But again, it's, these series are so long. Like you said, I mean, he may not be ready right now, but maybe he's ready in 7 days, and that'll only be like game 4 of the series.
I was going to say that's the time between game 1 and 2, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. So, all right. I mean, you guys, Tyler, Bubba, you guys have anything you want to talk about before we look at it from a betting perspective?
No, let's pick some winners.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty much right there with what you guys are saying. I think that Rockets Lakers matchup will be fun just if they can get one of those guys back. Luka, I don't think Reeves is going to be back, right? So if Luka can come back, it'll be fun. But if not, oh well. Neither of those teams are probably winning the West, so it doesn't really matter.
No, and I'm certainly not going to cry if the Lakers go out in the first round. So
no, either will I, for that matter.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just have some fun. Bubba, we'll start with you. Who do you got winning the Eastern Conference? Who do you got getting to the finals?
I got the Boston Celtics getting to the finals.
Okay. Ash?
Looking for
by the way, I think, what is that? They're plus 550 to get there, around there. Plus 600.
No.
Plus
to get there, they're plus 160.
Yeah.
To win it all, they might be.
Probably.
Yeah.
What's Cade's current status?
He's playing. He's been playing the past few games, so yeah, he's good to go.
What are their odds to get
Pistons are plus 475 to win the East.
Yeah, so was the Knicks, by the way. I mean,
yes,
just as an FYI.
The Celtics are plus 185.
160
I saw.
Network.
Yeah. So for the purpose of this exercise, that $100 bet, I'm putting on the Pistons. But if I was using those same type of numbers, I would put 100 on the Celtics. I'd put 50 on the Pistons in that scenario. But for the record here, I'll take the Pistons.
Yeah, I probably would do that too if it wasn't the Celtics. But I'll ride my favorite team. So I'm with Bubba. I got the Celtics plus 160.
Yeah, I would love to take the Cavs. I like Donovan Mitchell. But he's playing with that left-handed guy that doesn't really can't break through, doesn't know how to play in big moments. So I can't rationally put $100 on James Harden.
No, you can't.
That's a bad investment. So I'm just not going to do that. And I'd just take it on the Celtics.
Yeah. Tyler, what about in the Western Conference? Who do you got coming out?
Man, the West is fucking. I'm gonna ride with Jokic. I'm gonna ride with the best player I think in the NBA. Probably the past like 4 years. And that's coming from a huge LeBron guy. But I'll just ride with the Nuggets if they can be healthy, and Jokic will just who will they play in the next round? Will they play the Spurs in the next round?
Yeah.
So that's obviously a huge match. If it's a gauntlet either way you slice it, probably for anybody. But if they can get through that, I think whoever wins that matchup will probably win the West, just from a standpoint of battle tested, and as long as it doesn't go 7 and someone doesn't get hurt, I'll ride with the Nuggets at plus 550.
Yeah, I wanted to. I was torn between the Spurs and the Nuggets. I'm a huge Joker fan. He's probably my favorite player in the league right now. But I did ultimately go with the Spurs. I know they're young. I know they haven't been in this situation. It's going to be really interesting to see Wemby play major minutes. Assuming he's going to play major minutes, because I mean he only usually plays like 28, 30 minutes a game. All of a sudden he's going to have to be playing 35 plus every game, at the minimum, you would think. So it'll be interesting to see if he can actually hold up to that workload. But I just think there's something magical going on with the Spurs right now, and I'm with you. I'm taking them plus 300.
This feels a lot like the Masters discussion we just had, right? It's just sitting there. It really is. It's just sitting there at minus 150 to win the West. But you're going to go to plus 300 or plus 550. I mean, I'll jump the shark here, and I think the winner coming out of the West is the winner coming out of the Spurs Nuggets game. I'm completely torn, and Jeff, I couldn't have said it any better than what you just said. The Wemby thing, if Nuggets had home court, this would be an easy Nuggets bet for me, just because I think the altitude has the potential to mess with Wemby and just the way they do a rotation anyway. But man, my love for Castle and his bulldog mentality and what he's bringing to that team, it's hard to go against them. But my gut tells me that with Gordon back, the way Murray's been playing, and Joker's going to I think Joker's going to be on a mission. I know he doesn't care what the Americans think. I know he doesn't really care what the press thinks, but I know he wants to show that he's the best player. And if he has the ability to run through a mutant and then SGA, I think he's going to come prepared. So I'll put my 100 on the Nuggets at plus 550.
Yeah, and again, I'm certainly hoping those two play. I mean, hopefully there's no upsets. I don't expect that there will be, but hopefully we do see them play in the second round. And like we said last week, OKC, sort of lucked out. I mean, again, it's not luck because they're the number one seed, but they have a much easier path to the Western Conference than either the Spurs or the Nuggets do. So,
yeah.
Bubba, who you got, Bubba?
I'm on Denver too, so we're 3-1 here. So it sounds like we're going to meet in the second round. So we'll I guess after that pod we'll know who's moving on.
And OKC is going to win the West, by the way. So we're all going to be wrong.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Unfortunately, the second round won't be over for about 5 weeks, so it's going to take a while before we know what's going on here.
Yeah, my son will be in third grade by the time these matchups happen.
Why does the NBA do this?
Crazy.
It is crazy.
Before we go, the playing game is the stupidest thing in the world, I think. It's idiotic. I don't know if we touched on it last year. We play 82 games to decide 2 more games we have to play.
Well, Jeff pointed out something to me yesterday that made it even more idiotic. And if you think about it, it's so illogical. It's illogical. Like tonight you've got Philly playing Orlando, right? Which is the 7-8 matchup.
Yep.
And if you win the 7th seed, you move on. And if you lose it, you've got to play tomorrow night to see if you get the 8th seed. In the Western Conference, you've got 9 and 10 going tonight because loser goes home, and the winner has to play tomorrow night to see if they advance. Well, on the East Coast, they did it differently.
The games are Friday, by the way. They're Friday, not tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
But the East Coast, or on the Eastern side of things, Charlotte played last night against Miami, eliminating Miami, and now Charlotte gets 3 days rest to get ready for the 7-8 winner or the 7-8 loser. So you finish higher and you get to play on less rest. It makes no sense.
Yeah, it's just the dumbest thing in the fucking world to me.
Yeah, it was a scheduling conflict though, because they couldn't play that Sixers game last night. I mean, last night because I think the Flyers they had a home game or whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but I agree. I agree with. Look, Tyler. You know what the answer is. I mean, the reason why is money. They get a lot of money for these games, and
And these
you know,
teams can
at
say they
least
were
the
in the
games were good
playoffs.
last night.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
they're
So-
they're what 8 bad teams playing against each other. They're pretty all even. They played 82 games. Their records are pretty similar. I mean, they're just playing one more game to get bounced in the first round because one of these teams are never going to make a run. I know Miami
are
did
all
a
these
few years
teams?
ago, but that was
Yeah,
COVID year and a little bit of a wonkiness.
yeah.
Mike,
It was a lot of luck involved
Yeah,
there, but
and listen, I we'll get into who we think is going to win tonight, but now the Heat get a lottery pick. Would have been easier just to get the lottery pick without it.
Yeah,
You know,
just stupid.
so do we have written down digital? However, we keep track of these things. Do we have who we all took before the season to win the NBA?
Ooh, that's a great question.
not sure. But I could certainly find it. I mean, I could go
Okay.
back and listen to the pod. Yeah.
The only thing I do remember, I think I remember this, was I took Houston and I kind of got laughed at. Was that right? Or no, that was.
Can't imagine why that would have happened.
Yeah.
Right, and you'd get laughed at now too.
Yeah, no, they're definitely not going to win at all. But
Well, the good thing
They're
is they made the
5 seed.
playoffs, so they can't get laughed.
Yeah,
Like,
they're-
at least they made the playoffs, right?
they're
I-
5 seed.
I'm asking because I think beside none of us had the Spurs, but I think we had a very similar Joker OKC conversation before
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So we're kind of in the same lane. So it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Mike Trout
all right.
hit another dinger, and I'm pretty sure he'd hit 50 if he was a Yankee, but that's just me.
Well, he
Well,
doesn't. He doesn't play, Bubba.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's not gonna
he
play
doesn't
enough games.
I mean, that's
No,
yeah,
no.
I mean, that's the
He
problem.
needs to do it before the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't. We don't want to skip it. Who do we got winning? Bubba, why don't you start? Who do you got winning the whole thing?
I like Denver at plus 800.
Okay. Ash.
Give me the Joker.
The winner comes out of the West, so it's one of those 3 teams. Either way, I've said that multiple times throughout the year. So if I've got Denver beating San Antonio, then I have Denver at plus 900.
All right. So I got the Celtics playing the Spurs, and that would be a hell of a series. I don't know what the Celtics are going to do with Wemby if they actually meet up, but I got Boston at plus 550. I'll stick with the home team, 550.
I think I will play around with some wheels and see what type of odds you can get for exact matchups.
I was looking at that earlier, Jay. They got him on the Hard Rock.
Yeah, I think you can. I think you could spread some money around on all 3 of the West teams and the top 2 teams in the East, and make it work in your advantage. One of those one scenario thing blows everything up, and everything else makes money. So play some wheels over the next couple of days, see what we can come up with.
Yep.
I like it.
Treat it like a horse race.
Tyler, who do you got, Tyler?
Again, I picked the Nuggets to win the West. I think it's going to be one of those 3 teams in the West to win it. I would love if the Celtics made a run and possibly won it, Jeff, for you. But just for this purpose, I'll just go right with my Western Conference team with the Nuggets.
Okay. I mean, it's
I could just
can't argue
play
with you
both sides of
guys.
the fence and just say that Thunder are going to win and make $15 or whatever, or $115, but that's not fun.
Yeah, we're down. It's weird because Ash kind of mentioned earlier that they probably will end up coming out. But they did have they had a weird stretch in the middle of the season. They certainly had trouble with San Antonio all season. But they've been playing really well now for a while. So I think people are sleeping on them just a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I would be surprised if they sort of ran through Denver or San Antonio, when they end up meeting them. But it wouldn't shock me, I guess. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if they won that series in the 5 games or whatever. So.
For anybody before we jump off NBA, it looks like you can get Nikola Jokic to win the Finals MVP at plus 1,000 right now. Obviously, that if they end up going to the Finals, he will not probably be plus 1,000. And Wemby is plus 500. to win the finals MVP. So if you think one of those two teams are going to win it, you might be able to make some money on that early prediction.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a nice one. You just throw $10 on it and win 100. I mean, that's a nice one. Yeah.
And Jeff, for you, Jason Tatum and Brown are plus
Brown.
1,100 and plus 1,200. So
Yeah.
they're same boat.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I wish UConn won the national championship. All right.
Well, all right. Let's
transition.
I was going to say we don't spend a lot of time on hockey. Anybody who listens to the pod is well aware of that. But the NHL playoffs are getting ready to start this weekend too. And Tyler, you're the one true hockey fan amongst the four of us. So why don't you give us your little breakdown of the playoffs? What are you expecting?
Yeah. One, just right off the rip, the NHL has the worst format in the history of the world as far as the seeding in the NHL. It's not just the top 8 teams. One plays 8 and 2 plays 7. They have completely bastardized it, and it's like the 1 seed in the better conference plays the 2 seed. Like it's brutal, and it's to make up these rivalry matches that you can get in the first round of the playoffs and different things like that. But it's just idiotic. It doesn't make any sense, even if you watch hockey. It's stupid. As stupid as the playing game is, this is way dumber. The way they do the hockey playoffs. But anyways, kind of going off of it, in the West, you got the Avalanche. They've been one of the best teams in the league all year. As a Lightning fan, it's tough to swallow, but I think they're probably the best team in the league. They got the best plus 300 to win it. I do see them coming out of the West. The Stars are also good, but I do see a little changing of the guard. I don't think the Oilers and McDavid will come out of the West this year. And then from a gambling standpoint in the East, you got the Lightning plus 425. They have the best odds to win the East and second best odds to win the Stanley Cup, followed closely by the Carolina Hurricanes, who have been very, very good. And I think if this was in January or right before the Olympics, I would tell you I would put a lot on the Lightning to win. They haven't quite looked as dominant as they did in January, February, December timeframe when they just flat out weren't really losing. So I do still like the Lightning to come out of the East. Again, being a Lightning fan, I'm not going to bet anywhere else with that. So them to win the East and the Avalanche in a rematch of 2022 Stanley Cup final. And I'm going to bet with the Lightning again as a fan. I'm a homer, so it's not crazy because they got the second best odds to win it, so it's not like I'm talking out of my ass. But I do hope they kind of can catch some lightning in a bottle. Kucherov steps up, plays better than he did last year, where I don't think he even had a point last year in the playoffs, and we got swept. So ideally speaking, the Lightning step up. They're big players, got to play big. You got Vasilevsky, who's going to win another Vezina trophy this year. Right now, he's plus 5,000 to win the best goaltender award. So I think that's pretty much tells you who's going to win that. And I think Kuch is probably going to win the MVP. So you got the two of the best trophies in the sport are going to your guys. You should probably make a run at it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, but that's where my money is and where my thoughts are.
All right,
let's go Lightning.
Oh yeah,
go Bolt.
Yeah. It gets fun in Tampa when the Lightning are making a run at it. Maybe not as fun as when the Olympics was going. That was a fun night. That was a fun day, but it gets rocking and rolling. So fingers crossed.
And it started already, right? Playoffs started?
No, I think today is the last regular season games.
Okay.
Yes, the Lightning are playing right now against the Rangers. And today's the last few games of the year. I think they start next week. Next Monday, maybe, is the first game.
Saturday, I think.
Yeah,
I think it
it might be Saturday. Yeah, it might be.
Yeah.
So yep. So we got playoffs.
Hey,
And hockey's just like
thing
NBA. It takes a while. It's like an extra 2 months on the season just for 4 rounds.
Let's do it.
it's all about TV. They want those games to have.
Oh yeah.
They want those games to have like their own window. You know what I mean? They don't want to be playing 5 games a day or whatever like that. So
Yeah, sucks.
they spread it out.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Hey, one thing I forgot to mention about the NBA, and I think I texted this to you guys last night, but I'm going off memory, so I hope I don't get this wrong. But what was it? 13 of the past 15 NBA champions were finished the season in the top 5 in offense and defense, and this year 2 teams fit that category, which would be the Spurs and the Celtics. So again, take it for whatever it's worth, but generally speaking, if you're going to win the title, you got to be in the top 5 on both sides of the ball, and those are the 2 teams. Now, again, OKC had a lot of injuries issues this year, so their defense wasn't necessarily as good as it probably is right now. So I think that kind of skews that a little bit, but it's a good little stat. It's worth watching.
No doubt.
In order to be the man, you got to beat the man.
Mm-hmm.
Another quick stat, MLB, a little off topic, but Tampa Bay Rays have not won on April 15th in 15 years.
It's your tax refund.
Indeed.
Your tax refund. Put it on the Rays to lose. It's the best bet in sports. Don't worry, I stayed away from it. From all you guys that know, I stay away from the popular stuff now because apparently I just can't get it right.
Well, let's see how it goes. I don't have a tax refund, so I'm hoping for a good outcome tonight. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. So.
All right. So will we bragging rights? Or no, the categories.
Lock, prop, and dog.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Jay. Why don't you
Sounds like a Guy Ritchie movie. Sounds like a Guy Ritchie movie. So, we are going to start off with last week. I had a lock of Captain America, aka Patrick Reed, to top 10 at plus 320, and he stuck a giant banana in the tailpipe on Sunday and finished T12. So, thanks, Captain America, for nothing. This week, my lock of the week is actually going on right now. I'm going to double dip a little bit here, but I got the Sixers -1 tonight against the Magic.
Nice.
Okay.
See.
Last week I had the Padres -1.5. I think they actually won that game. Can't remember for sure, but I think they won that game. This week I'm with you. I have the Sixers. I have it at -1.5 though, so I won't cheat. I'll throw the extra half point in there. So -1.5.
I didn't cheat. I bought the hook. So
No, I'm just saying. Did you? Oh, okay, there you go. I didn't realize that. Yeah. Bubba.
Last week I had the Yankees -1.5 against the Rays in that first game, and they did not on that Friday, and they lost 5-3. Tonight
Did they blow that game?
I think they did.
Well, they got swept, so that's all I know.
Yeah.
And then tonight I've got the Dodgers to beat the Mets by 1.5 runs, or more than 1.5 runs at plus 110.
Very nice.
All right.
Last week my lock was Justin Rose top 10. That obviously came in. He came in third. So nice win there. This week I'm going to go with the Nuggets. I believe it's tomorrow they play, or it's tomorrow, Friday. One of the days their first round matchup against the Wolves, -6.5. Just experience there. I'm just going to take the Nuggets to come out on top of that -6.5. I'll jump into prop. My prop of last week was Jordan Spieth to have over 14.5 birdies. And when a guy goes up there after his final round and says this, I bet I hit it better today than I've ever hit it here, and he's won the Masters, you would think he comes in at 14.5 and he gets the job done. But that's just how he is. He treats me like shit, and that's why it's always expletive Jordan Spieth. So he did not get it done for me last week. This week, I'm going with actually back-to-back guys that I don't really like. So I'm going with Steph Curry over 34.5 points tonight. I think he could go out there and ball out. They play in the play-in game kind of thing. They play the Clippers, and I think Steph could just have a crazy Steph night where he just everything seems to be falling for him. So 34.5 is plus 450 for Steph.
Well, but before you go back, can I ask a question, Tyler? Because it just dawned on me with the back-to-back comments. Do you hate Under Armour too?
You know what the crazy part is, Jay? My dad being the baseball coach was sponsored by Under Armour both when these guys were taking off at their peaks. So I had the ability to get like free Under Armour stuff, and I did. And I really liked Spieth when he first started coming on. The Masters, when he choked away, I hated how he reacted to it and like shunned the media and made it like didn't want to talk to the press and stuff like that. And like that rubbed me the wrong way. You can't love the noise when you're winning and tell everyone to F off when it doesn't go your way and kind of cry about it. It's just not the way it works, unfortunately. So he turned me off to him. And then Steph, I've just always fucking hated Steph. and it's just because he's great. And when he was on the Olympics and I could cheer for him without any malice, it was like, this is the greatest thing in the world. He's the best. But it's just one of those things. I also don't like Mike Trout, if that makes you. So all three of those guys at one point were the best player in their sport, arguably, and I disliked them all. So it's just one of those things.
There you go.
And Mike Trout's a Nike guy, so
I was gonna say
doesn't cross.
I just didn't know if we were burning Under Armour shoes out back on a regular basis.
No, I used to have all the Jordan Spieth Under Armour stuff, man. I was a Jordan Spieth guy, so he broke my heart, Jay.
All right, Bubba, who you got?
All right, last week I had Judge to hit a homer in that game, and he did not hit an homer. He had 2 strikeouts. He did have a hit and an RBI though, but not a homer. Tonight I am taking Ohtani, who's on the mound to start for the Dodgers, to have over 6.5 strikeouts. Minus 160, not paying crazy, but I am confident he'll get to 7.
Yeah, that'll be interesting because I think he had 8 in his first game, and then he only had 2 in his second. So it'll be curious to see what he does tonight. Yeah. Last week I had Tatum to get a triple-double. I knew Brown wasn't playing in that game, so I thought Tatum would have a big game, and he did, but he came up 2 assists short of the triple-double. This week I have Maxey hitting at least 4 threes at plus 200. So expecting a big game out of him tonight.
Does he have any right now, Jeff?
I don't know.
I'll check for you. I'll check for you.
Thanks.
Yeah, he's got 2.
I would hope.
There you go.
Yeah,
he's almost there.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, last week I had Justin Rose plus 325 to be in the top 10, and that came through. And this week I'm going to stick with golf, and I'm going to stick with the RBC Heritage Open, and I'm going to take Brian Harman at plus 530 for the top 10.
Mr. Waggle.
Yeah, this course fits his eye. Finished 3rd last year. Finished in the top 10 overall last year. And let me specify. No, go ahead. I'm right. Plus 530, top 10. I was confusing something I have on my other card, so I apologize. Too many cards. That's all it comes down to. Too many cards.
Drives it straight, and that's what you got to do at RBC.
Yeah.
The Heritage, so.
Yep.
All right. Last week I had the Sixers as my dog. I think when we finished up the pod, they were getting pounded, so it didn't look like they had any hope. But they did make a run near the end of the game, came up short. So that was a loser. This week it's a similar situation. This game might be close to over at this point, but I have the Nationals at plus 149. I'm not sure what's going on in that game, but I have Washington pulling out the win on the money line.
Down 2-0, Jeff, in the top of the 8th with 2 outs, nobody on.
Yeah, great.
All right. Well, last week my dog was the first place A's. That's right. The first place A's against the Mets. They were a plus 140 dog on Friday night, and they went on to sweep the Mets. Part of the reason why the Mets are going against the Dodgers tonight on a 6-game losing streak. But did I mention the A's are in first place, guys? The A's?
Yeah.
The A's? Well, I wanted to do it at the top, but, yeah, first place. First place. Going to make the playoffs. Going to win the West. This week, my lock is also, or not lock, my prop is Brian Harmon. My underdog is the Warriors plus 180 tonight to win against the Clippers.
Like it.
I apologize. Did I jump you? That you didn't get your prop out?
No, I got my prop. I was reading the teleprompter. I went Ron Burgundy on you.
Okay.
The teleprompter flashed Harmon. I went to it. Fuck you, San Diego.
Bubba?
All right. Last week I had the Chicago White Sox. They ended up beating the Royals 2-0, so I hit on that. And this week I texted you guys before we started the pod, or before the game started. I have the Chicago Cubs, and they're putting a whooping on the Phillies tonight, 9-1 in the 7th.
Nice.
That's how you dog.
Yeah, very nice. Last week I had Patrick Reed to be the top U.S. player, plus 1,600. Like Jay said, he just decided not to really play on Sunday. Mailed it in. So tough one there to swallow. But we move on. It was plus 1,600. It's not like it was a shoe-in. This week, going a little bit less, taking the Buffalo Sabres, plus 125, been really good this year. Hockey, been really good in the second half of the season. Last game of the year, probably got some guys out there that are just getting fresh legs. Hockey's one of those sports, weirdly, that they still play most of the guys, even in this point in the year, where the game doesn't really matter for anything. They are currently tied 3-3 and about to start the third period, so that one still looks like it's got some life.
All right.
Bragging rights?
Let's brag.
Bragging rights.
Well, let's brag about it. Do we have anything to brag about?
I don't think we do.
I don't think we do.
I
right?
don't think we do. I don't think we do.
Jeff, I
do
believe
not
this was
think we
yours from last week. Padres minus
Yeah,
1.5, Mets minus 1.5, 76ers and Lakers.
Yeah, I went 2-2, so we don't have to stick here too long.
Beautiful. Jay?
Corey Connors, no thanks. Yankees, that's the game. They had no runs. They got one hit. Royals actually won that game, but did not win by more than one. And Patrick Reed didn't hit the top 10. That's what we like to call a donut.
Oof.
It would have been nice to win $1,300 donut.
Yeah. It was a prayer for sure. Bubba, I believe you went 3 of 4 last week.
I did. I got all the way to the last game, and the Colorado Avalanche let me down.
They've been good too. That's a tough one. But we keep it moving. We got bets this week. So I believe this is you, Jeff, here. Similar card. You got a lot of the same names on this card, Jeff. You're sticking with these guys.
Yeah. So I have the Sixers minus 1.5. I got, I said that earlier. It's my lock of the night, but I also got them in my bragging rights ticket. And then I got the Warriors, Mets, and Padres all winning on the money line. So I got all three of them just winning outright. And it's plus 26.46, which means 25 would pay 6.86. So let's go.
Love it. Jay, I see golf. Got to be you.
That is me. I've got Tommy Fleetwood for tomorrow, end of round 1, top 10 at plus 300. He did hit the board last year in the top 10 after the first round, and after a disappointing Masters performance on the weekend, I think he bounces back. These British guys like to play this course. I've got the tax day special. I've got the White Sox minus 105 at home, currently losing 1-0 to the can't win on tax day Rays. I've got the Sixers minus 1.5 here, but also Maxey at 29.5 points, currently 16 points with about a minute and a half to go in the second. So he's halfway home there. I just figure if the Sixers are going to win, he's going to get over 30. So that's the play. That's the play for me. 25 wins 566, 21.65 to 1.
Perfect.
I like it.
Bubba, round us out, buddy.
All right, I got the two favorites in the NBA. I threw my Cubs in there at plus 125. And then I also have the White Sox, who are losing to the can't win on tax day Rays, at minus 102. So 25 wins, 272. I feel great about it if the White Sox can figure it out. I think those two favorites in the NBA are gonna win those games. So we will see. 25 wins, 272, and some change.
Beautiful.
All right.
Beautiful. Hopefully we can brag about it next week.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, that's going to do it. I want to thank everybody who joined us tonight. Follow us at all the socials at Casual Chaos Live, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of the fun places, X. And obviously, listen to the pod on YouTube. If you're not listening on YouTube and you're checking us out on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you pod, the pod will be available tomorrow. As we noted, we'll be back next week, and they'll have played one NBA game by the time we're back. So we'll have a lot to recap and recover. But playoffs will be in full swing, so we'll keep the pod going, talk some gambling. We'll be another week closer to the NFL draft, and just a lot to talk about. So until next week, thank you guys once again. Thank you to Jeff, Bubba, and producer Tyler. I'm Jay Ash. We'll catch you guys later.
See you guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Hi, everyone. This is Jay Ash, one of the hosts of the Casual Chaos podcast you are about to listen to discusses gambling and wagering on sporting events. Please be advised the gambling and sports wagering content during this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute financial or gambling advice. Sports wagering involves significant risk. If you choose to gamble, please do so responsibly and only gamble with funds that you can comfortably afford to lose. All opinions, wagering tickets discussed, or implied wagers on the Casual Chaos podcast are not guarantees to result in financial gain. You must be 21 years or older or of legal gambling age in your jurisdiction to participate in sports wagering. Please verify the gambling and sports wagering laws and regulations within your jurisdiction prior to placing bets. Listeners are solely responsible for their own wagering decisions and outcomes. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. Call or text the National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. We encourage everyone to engage with sports betting responsibly. The host and the Casual Cast podcast assume no liability for any losses incurred as a result of listening to this content.